So with the second wave of 3.4's banners arriving shortly tomorrow, which is Hu Tao and Yelan's rerun banners, you guys are probably going to be asking yourself who to consider going for, right? Both of those characters are top tier, and they are both very strong in their own rights based on their abilities, their kit, their strengths, as well as how useful and valuable each of those two characters can bring. Keep in mind, I do own both Hu Tao and Yelan, so hopefully the gameplay could probably based on my explanations will be good enough for you to consider if you guys want to go for any of the two, or even both of them. So I will be talking about how strong each of those two characters are, and my closing thoughts on who you should consider going for. Make sure you guys have enough premiums saved up for that. Also, if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, then by all means, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. A sub and like is always greatly appreciated. Please help me reach over 600 subscribers real soon, and I appreciate every single one of you guys sticking around to the videos. Alright, let's get right to it. Now, where do I begin with Hu Tao? Since we're going to talk with Hu Tao first before we'll immediately move on to Yelan. Now, Hu Tao is one of the best Pyro DPS characters in the game ever since she first debuted back in 1.3, I think. I could be wrong. But yeah, she is one of the best Pyro DPS characters in the game when she was first debuted. Definitely brings up to the whole risk and reward playstyle due to her kit providing her to do even more damage at the trade-off for her own health. And she is the first character alongside that literally opened the wave with that playstyle, which implements you to have the less health you have on her, the more damage you're going to do because of her passive, which provides more pyro damage, which is 33% when you have less than 50% health, which definitely brings up for the more meaning if you want to play more risky, which does implement more usage on that playstyle. So like if you have like a character for someone like, let's say, Zhongli to help you shield your Hu Tao so that you'll be able to breeze through a Hu Tao while at low health to make sure you don't get damaged, then that's by far a very good comfort pick for you to run. Or if you really are the dodgy type, or if you guys really like value, let's say, if you want to get C1 Hu Tao for previous Hu Tao owners, then you can definitely just spam charge attack because jump canceling for Hu Tao at C0 is very strong. C1 just makes her even more fun because of the massive amount of, charge attack spam you can do, and you can have a lot of, not the need of jump canceling so that you won't be completely invulnerable in the air. It'll just make you do a lot more damage and a lot more charge attacks for freely once you have her skill equipped. For artifact set wise, you're best running Crimson Witch of Flames 4-piece just to make the highest damage possible, especially if you want to run Vaporized comps, which is probably the most popular comps that Hu Tao always tends to run extremely well on, because Vaporize obviously has a lot of damage, like a lot of damage amplified in comparison to like all the other damage characters. I mean, I know Melt is higher, but Vaporize is still pretty common, and it's still pretty valuable for Hu Tao nowadays. Hu Tao is a polearm user, and obviously the best way to play Hu Tao is definitely just use normal attack 1 up to charge attack, and if you have C0, as I mentioned before, jump canceling is pretty good, but if you have C1, you can just spam charge attack without the need of wasting any stamina, unless if you want to micro dash just to get iframes. And remember that her burst does heal her if you are a bit of a pinch of like having way too much health if you don't have any healing characters, which it's not recommended to run healing characters on Hu Tao because you're not going to make use of the passive, but most of the time probably you're not going to use it as much because using somebody like, let's say, Bennett will still be a pretty good buff even if you don't have the second passive for Hu Tao activated at times. But Hu Tao could still do a lot of damage even if you don't have the passive. So she can just do a lot of damage for free, and you can always freely get your health back with a simple burst, and it does do the highest damage, which I would recommend if you want to play Hu Tao that way. Just use 4-piece Crimson Witch, then activate the skill to get the high damage buff, and then just immediately burst if you want to do it. Just do the instant damage. Another set would work is also Shimanaba, which is kind of weird, where most of the time you would run Crimson Witch because you really would value her burst a lot, besides her high damage output. All in all, Hu Tao is definitely one of the best power DPS characters in the game. She's very strong for both single and multi-target. Yeah, she can literally do both of them, which makes her hella strong and very hell opponent, as she can compete with the best DPS characters in the game, like Yoimiya or Raiden or Ayaka. She can hold her ground extremely well. So definitely, Hu Tao is definitely a very good DPS pick if you really want to get more DPS characters in that regard. Now for Yelan. Yelan, if you think Xingqiu was very strong as one of the strongest 4-star Hydra supports in the game, well, Yelan basically just takes that to the next level and probably loses a little bit of less usage? Yeah, I don't think so, because I think Xingqiu still has higher usage still. Well, Yelan is basically a Xingqiu, but probably waifu and also even more upgraded, because Yelan has some of the best Hydro application for, let's say, a character like Yoimiya, where Xingqiu doesn't do enough Hydro application to guarantee if your hits are going to vaporize. So Yelan will actually be a lot more stronger for if you guys are Yoimiya users, or if you want to run, let's say, Hyper Boom comps, because Yelan's Yelan's skill and burst actually gives out a lot more easier usage to getting more reaction game, and even if you want to pair Hu Tao and Yelan together, they work hella strong. Now, Yelan is a bow user, and she has her Night Dash ability, which basically goes straight to the point, and you'll be able to just do instant damage and even chain as many enemies as possible, which kind of also gives you a lot of energy to work with. And as you know, for her burst, as I mentioned before, it's basically Xingqiu burst again, so it provides even more value to run her in Vaporize comps, or nowadays with Denjo being a thing, Bloom/Hyper Bloom comps, which makes her very strong. Her dice actually also gives out a damage buff. If you guys don't know, when you activate her burst, you actually get a damage buff, which actually is pretty powerful if you want to do even more damage with Yelan on or off field. You'll be able to easily get like a lot of reactions for free, and Yelan is just a very powerful support to have. So, as I mentioned before, Hu Tao is a DPS, Yelan is a support. Obviously, her constellations for Yelan are considered to be the most busted. I've been told that C6 just makes her literally, like, you could solo Spiral Abyss with her, because C6 just makes her a DPS, whereas base, she's just, how do I say it? She's more of like a support role, but basically a slightly better version of Xingqiu in most regards because of her dice support for giving out even faster reaction time for Vaporize or Bloom or Hyper Bloom, as I mentioned. Yelan is definitely really worth going if you want to get a second Hydra support because I mean, let's be honest, supports like Xingqiu and Layla and Yelan are very good if you want to really value more in the reaction game, and especially if you want to like play a lot of energy gain. Like I use my Yelan for Fabbo for a lot of energy gain, and she actually does a lot of good energy gain too. Where most sets I would recommend you run for Yelan if you're at C0 or less, or like just less than C6 in general. Just run 4-piece Emblem with Severed Fate, or even 2-piece Heart of Depth and Noblesse Oblige. But if you have a C6 Yelan, and if you are a whale that's looking forward to C6ing your Yelan, then definitely go for 4-piece Heart of Depth because you're going to go DPS mode, which most of the time probably not. I'm pretty sure most of you guys who want to get Yelan are just going to use her just to support your Raiden, Nahida, Yoimiya, Hu Tao, which is most of the people in this game, unless if you're a whales, which obviously I'm not, but I'm not going to be a C6 Yelan whale if I tried. But yeah, Yelan, again, a very powerful Hydra support. She's also worth going for if you really want to get more more like support characters as a whole. I would probably say support characters are probably slightly better than DPS characters most of the time because they provide so much more to the kit besides just you know, that they could also do DPS as well, which is also another thing to mention. Now, there is also another thing to consider why people would want to wish on their rerun. It's because of the weapon banner. And I mean, the weapon banner is the main catalyst why. The reason why? You have two overpowered weapons that are very strong universally in their own right. Like, literally, besides Hu Tao and Yelan, every character that has like the same weapon type as those two would literally make use of those weapons because they're just both that damn good. Homa, obviously, one of the most universally best polearms in the game for literally every single polearm character you can think of besides Hu Tao. Like, I could see Zhongli using it, I could see even Raiden using it, I could see even Xiao using it, and then you have Aqua Samakura for the bow, which Yelan can use it, Ganyu could use it, Tignari could probably use it, and even Yoimiya could. Like, those weapons, because they both have the crit damage substat, which for Homa it's 66.2 when maxed, and for Samakura it's 88.2 when maxed. So yeah, these things both of those two weapons are probably the reasons why I know a lot of people are going to be wishing on the Rerun banner. Most likely the weapon, because if you guys are previous Hu Tao / Yelan owners, I know for sure you guys would want to own those two weapons if you guys really wanted to, because those two weapons are just downright overpowered, and they are very hella competitive to like some of the other better weapons in the game by far at that stage. So, if you really want to value getting a weapon for your Hu Tao, then by all means, or for Yelan, then by all means, wish on the weapon banner, because honestly, both of those weapons are massive wins. Although I know many people say don't ever wish on the weapon banner. I'm looking at you, Freezing, and honestly, that's true because it can be a scam. But honestly, if you really have nothing left to lose when you wish on the weapon banner, or if you want to wish on, you know, the characters that you want, then by all means, you can. It's your primos, so whatever you want to spend it on, you'll be happy. Now, what would I recommend you for being a Hu Tao and Yelan owner on which banner, or like which character / weapon banner you want to go for? I would honestly say none other than probably Yelan in my honest opinion, because Yelan is hella strong because she's a very good support, and I would say supports are better than most DPS characters in the stage of the game, because now that in the stage that we're in, we're going to be implying like a lot of reaction games, so you probably would want to run like a lot of reaction like support characters that are hell-bent on that. Yelan definitely fits the role if you want to run Vaporize or even Hydro Bloom a lot, which are considered to be some of the best elements of reactions in the game. And honestly, Hydro is definitely the most versatile element ever since for 3.4 Spiral Abyss, and I did see the usage charts though. But if you really do want to value a DPS character, then by all means go all in on Hu Tao, because Hu Tao just does some nutty damage, I tell you. Like, she does a lot of good damage. Even though Pyro may be considered to be the weakest element in the game, hopefully that will change soon when Zia arrives in 3.5. But if you really want to get a quirky character that's as fun as Hu Tao, then by all means, with jump canceling or with C1 and with Staff of Homa, you will have Hu Tao, a very strong character for sure. Now, and finally, I guess I'll say this right now: if you really want to, the conditions if you want to wish for any of the three requirements are simple. If you're a previous Hu Tao owner or Yelan owner, and if you want to get their weapons, or if you want to get their constellations, by all means go all in on getting the constellations. Like, I also forgot to mention about constellations, like C1 and Hu Tao and Yelan are extremely good. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this, because remember I mentioned back in the Hu Tao chapter of this video that C1 Hu Tao basically implies you unlimited charge attack spam with her skill activated. That's damn good, because that will give you less reason to jump cancel, and it'll give you more reason to do even more damage with charge attacks. And for Yelan C1, you will have a second skill usage, which is pretty good if you want to get more energy gain, if you think you're kind of lacking energy gain problems, or if you're not running, let's say, Favbo for a 4-star weapon. So yeah, each of the constellations are very good. Like, I mean, Hu Tao and Yelan C6s are very strong. I think Yelan's might be slightly stronger, but yeah, but their C1s are really good to also put that benefactor in, and they can really compete with the best of the best, I tell you. So yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching in today's video on who you should consider going for in Hu Tao / Yelan's Rerun banner. If this type of video actually helped you out on who you should consider on going for, then I'm grateful that this video was definitely worth your time. And if not, if there are any other questions that you think I might have missed out, then you can always feel free to leave a comment down below and ask me what you think I missed out on, because I know there might be some other aspects that I might miss. So I would always be attentive to listen to what parts of their of their strengths and capabilities that I missed out, and if they are actually also just as important as I mentioned earlier in the video. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 600 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys sticking around to these videos. Definitely means a lot. And honestly, for the people that are going to be Hu Tao / Yelan watchers, I wish you guys all the best of luck. You guys will all soon to be Hu Tao / Yelan havers. And if you want to get their best in slot weapons, I will also wish you guys the best of luck on those too. So yeah, wish you guys all the best of luck for the polls tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the next video, everyone. Peace out.